Cooking with H, cooking with H, let's go. That is not a pie. This is pecan pie cobbler. And if pecan pie wasn't already rich enough, Americans decided to turn it into something even more dramatic. And I have a feeling this is going to be very, very sweet, but in the best way possible.
Hi and welcome back to Mr. H and Friends.
Today we're making a pecan pie cobbler, a true southern dessert. Now I didn't even know this existed until you guys said you need to try the pecan pie cobbler. You do love a pecan pie, don't you?
Oh yeah.
So this combines a pecan pie as well as a cobbler. And what you get when you put those two things together is something less structured because it's not in a pie, but it's more spoonable than a cake and it's designed for sharing.
And then there were four.
Now somebody has got her first tooth, so I think she is getting ready to be able to try food. We're not going to give her a pecan pie cobbler as her first thing that she's going to eat though today.
I love you, baby.
So a pecan pie cobbler is basically a buttery biscuit style dough, a syrupy pecan filling, more topping, and then it bakes to form its own layers. So it is going to be very similar to those peach cobblers we've done, but I think because of the syrupy element, it's going to give it something a little bit different. So first up, we need to make this filling. So we have got in here some flour, some sugar, some baking powder, and some salt. So Alana is going to give that a little whisk for us. Right, dry ingredients are done, and now we need to add in some milk. Put it all in. And then we need a teaspoon of vanilla.
Was this the Mexican one?
Mexican vanilla, yes. So we're going to see how this one tastes in this. We are nearly out of all vanilla though.
Pepper.
Yep. Good job. We have got a 9x13" dish and we're going to pop in some butter. Now this is what I really like about a cobbler, is how a cobbler starts, where you pop the butter in, you let it melt in the oven and then you add the filling on top. I just think it's genius. The oven's been preheated to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, so I'm just going to pop this in the oven for it to melt. Right, so we've got our pecans. Now you need to just chop those all up. So it's about 2 cups.
I do like pecans.
I know, and it's funny because I'd never had a pecan until we started doing this channel. And do you know what? Pecans are one of the only major commercial nuts that are native to North America.
Wow.
Or Northern America. They grow naturally across the states, especially in places like Georgia, Texas, and Louisiana. So you can see why pecans are very popular and in a lot of desserts. The Native American tribes were actually harvesting and eating pecans long before European settlers got to America. So pecans are softer and more buttery than walnuts, which is why they're used in a lot of desserts.
Yeah.
Now I think the only kind of nutty desserts that we get that I can think of is something like a coffee and walnut cake.
Yeah, I don't like those.
You can get walnuts in things like carrot cakes.
Yeah, I like that.
Beautifully done. So modern pecan pie as we know it became popular in the 1900s. Someone else is going for some pecan. And then it really exploded in the 1930s when things like corn syrup were actually made, and the manufacturers of corn syrup started putting out recipes.
Wow.
Which is why most pecan pies, they use, is it Caro syrup or Cairo syrup? I always say it wrong, and you guys let me know in the comments how I meant to pronounce it and then I forget for the next video. But this cobbler doesn't contain that. So if you've got a recipe for a pecan pie which doesn't contain the syrup and you kind of make your own, could you let us know? Pop a little recipe down in the comments, because the syrup is quite hard for us to get, and when we have to buy it, we can get it from places like Amazon, but it is quite costly. I don't think it's really the best for you, is it, some of these corn syrups? Okay, so hopefully the butter's now melted and we can begin this cobbler.
Oh yes. There we go.
We're just going to spoon on this dough, so pop it in like spoonfuls into the melted butter.
Will this spread out, I take it?
It will. As it cooks, I think this is a thing that is quite unique with a cobbler. You put it all in and then it rises, so it doesn't really matter about the presentation. I would try to do it like fairly evenly, but...
Yeah, it doesn't matter, but it does.
No, it doesn't, because I think with cobblers as well, you don't stir them. They just do their own thing.
Oh, right.
Does anybody recognise this outfit? Let me hold it up for you. It's one of Alana's that one of you sent us when she was born, and we've kept it, and now it's Alyssa's.
Sorry boys, Daddy says no dating.
Now I haven't had a cobbler before we did this channel.
Me neither.
But you do get cobblers in the UK.
Do you?
You do. They're not very well known, not very popularised over here. Maybe back in the day.
Where would you get them from?
Like a restaurant, maybe.
Oh, okay.
Or people might make them at home. Actually, your mum's nursing home, they had a beef cobbler on the menu.
Did they?
They did.
Beef cobbler?
Obviously not a sweet one. So cobblers date back to the early settlers that came over to America. Some of the British, they were missing some of the desserts that they had back home. So they tried to recreate it, but didn't have the ingredients. And that is how a cobbler was born.
Wow.
So although it kind of is a little bit British, it's not. And a pecan cobbler is kind of one onto its own, and that is truly American. So instead of making something with a traditional pie crust, the settlers topped fruit with this dough, and that is how a cobbler became a thing.
Every day is a learning day, isn't it? No.
Your beautiful pecans, you need to sprinkle them evenly as you can.
I'll try.
I'm actually intrigued to see how this is going to be, because a pecan pie has got quite a lot of pecans in it, hasn't it? Obviously with that syrup, it forms a nice crust. And I'm wondering how this is going to be with that dough. You're really after a pecan though, aren't you?
It'll be funny when Alyssa starts talking and what her ratings will be, whether she'll follow suit with Alana, starting with 2s and then 3s. Now she's like going to 10s now, isn't she?
We did think she was going to 4 when she became 4, but if you remember, 9 was one of the first ones, but only because she said 9 a lot, didn't she, instead of no.
And we thought she was part German by going 9.
Now we've got some light brown sugar, so sprinkle that evenly again.
Oh, it's quite compact.
You can use your fingers if you want. Yes, it is packed brown sugar.
God, how naive were we before this channel? Me, more so. Learned so much.
I'd never even used a cup before.
Just brought some.
I'm just laughing because there's about a tablespoon of sugar that I don't know how David's managed to put all over the table. But yeah, I'd never used a cup before. When the recipe said a cup, I just assumed it meant like any cup in your cupboard that you'd have a cup of coffee in.
Yeah, I mean, even in the early days, I was always making a mess. I was always making a mess.
I don't think things will ever change.
No.
This is something I've not done with a cobbler before, and it's adding boiling hot water. So this has come straight out of the kettle. And I think this is where that magic's going to happen, that gooey, syrupy caramel.
It's going to turn to caramel, that sugar, isn't it?
It will do. Can you just pour that one in?
Yes, ma'am. Don't spill some.
Oh my goodness. You can actually see some of that dough is starting to bake with that boiling water already. It's rising. Okay, love, so pop that back into the oven for 25 to 30 minutes. So as this bakes, the pecans are going to toast slightly, which is going to deepen the flavour. Because when pecans toast, their natural oils come out and it gives it a slightly bitter taste, which in contrast to that sweet filling that we've just made, it should make a beautiful cobbler.
You know what, I've really missed the cooking, and I cannot wait. We've actually got quite a nice day here. I cannot wait to get back on that smoker. So if you've got any suggestions for smoking some more meats, please let us know in the comments below.
So that cobbler, I believe, is exactly how it should look. You get the bubbling of that caramel around the edges. You've got some toasted pecans on the top, and you've got a slightly crispier edge where that dough has kind of risen and hit that heat. So we're just gonna let this cool for a few minutes before we try it, because that is gonna be like molten lava if we try eating it now.
I have to say, it smells and looks absolutely delicious, and I cannot wait to get my gnashers in that.
Ooh. Okay, it's pecan pie cobbler time. That's a bit of a mouthful.
Yeah, talking of mouthfuls.
Right, we got some ice cream as well with this one. I believe you can have it with cream or ice cream. It's got to be cream, hasn't it? So it's nice and cold against this warm cobbler. So who's going first?
Me.
Oh, I thought that might be the case. Not just ice cream though, got to try some of the cobbler as well. Try this. Cold?
Oh,
I caught it.
a bit cold.
What was it like though? I'm loving like that you get the caramelly bits of this.
Oh, that looks good.
Gotta get a bit of everything.
10 out of 10.
Oh my God! What? Wow! Is it that good, is it?
Oh, this is lovely. You get the softness of that, what do you call it? The cobbler base, the dough, and then you get the slight crunch of the nut.
Oh.
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 That's good, isn't it?
That is amazing. That hits every spot. This is just what I need. Special hug from our American cousins, isn't it? It's got everything. You've got the sweetness. You've got that nice sort of crunch of the pecans, but it's like soft on the inside. And you've got the heat, and you've got the caramel, and then you've got the coldness of the ice cream.
I think it's sweet, but in a really good way. It's not too sweet, is it?
No.
I never thought of putting pecans in a cobbler. It's really good.
Outstanding.
When I was serving this, did you think it needed to be a little bit sloppier, if that's even the word, or more spoonable? Because it did set quite cake-like. From the past, I know with a peach cobbler, it's meant to be that kind of more spoonable consistency. I mean, I'm not complaining, it tastes bloody good.
It tastes amazing. Oh.
Oh, he's romancing.
I've been romanced. This was so good. I'm actually speechless how good this is.
I'm going to kick my rating off with a 10.
Yeah.
Now, I was debating whether it would be a 9.5 or a 9, but I don't think there's any reason to mark it down.
Outstanding, outstanding, outstanding. It's a 10 out of 10 for me. This has massively put a smile on my face. To all the good folks at home, if you haven't already, please consider subscribing and come along for this incredible journey of ours, and all that leaves this little British family to say is...
Take care.
God bless.
And see you in the next video.